is good, ladies and gentlemen? Oh boy, okay. I'm gonna do this quickly. I say this every time, but I don't know. If you do enjoy, drop a like and subscribe. We're here to talk about Manchester United's just horrific showing against Young Boys, which wasn't even their best team, or so I was told. But I didn't. There were a couple players that did not play the first game. Harao, is the striker who I had in the thumbnail and was on my top performers. And then they didn't have their best center half, or you could argue that, but their most experienced, their leader, their captain for the whole of the second half. And it didn't make a difference. It didn't make a difference. Honestly, I don't know. I don't care if we were playing like Cambridge United, who we did play in the FA Cup a couple years back. We started off well in the first 20 minutes, but other than that, the football we played for the rest of the game isn't beating most teams. There's nothing positive, no energy, no, and I'm happy we won. Let's be honest here. I'm happy we won. We've qualified for the knockout stages, but I'm looking at things from a football perspective, and everyone knows it's not good. At the end of the day, a win is a win. But it's inexcusable. What I saw on the pitch is inexcusable. And, excuse me, like I keep saying every week, I understand Jose's frustrations. And January coming up, we will see if the board really back Jose or not. If they really back Jose, they'll get him someone in January. City are really backed. So they got who they wanted and needed in January. Pep got who he needed in January. Also, Klopp got who he needed in January. Van Dijk, Laporte, players that were necessary. We are in bad need of, in my opinion, a right winger over a center half. For footballing purposes, I don't think the defense is really an issue. If we could actually score goals, it might not matter how many we conceded. Just being honest. We don't score a lot of goals. But let's get to the finer points. As you see, the possession, domination. We just dominated the whole game. But it wasn't pretty. Like, it wasn't entertaining. It wasn't dominating. Clear domination. 21 shots, only 4 on target. And only 1 goal. Which was at the end of the game when we just started throwing Hail Marys, and I believe Lukaku got a knockdown to Fellaini and he finished it, which was argued for handball, but I don't care. That's things like that. That's what makes football football. If it went against us, it's the same thing. That's why we don't need VAR. Just saying. One of the reasons we don't anyway. There's other reasons you could argue, but we ain't gonna talk about that. The first thing I want to say, I got a few points. The first point I want to make is, what reason was there not to play Andreas Pereira? If any at all. I mean, Fellaini or Matic. I don't even care if you play Fellaini in the pivot. I don't care. Or if you could have even got away with playing Andreas in the pivot today, or Fred, because they weren't a strong attacking aerial side. They played the ball on the ground and in behind. No need for Matic or Fellaini, but we played both of them. No one expected pretty football. I tweeted out before the game, expect beautiful football. Obviously, with quotations. Not going to get beautiful football from that side. But, I said this a while back when we were in this position, when Young Boys and Valencia drew, and we beat Juventus. We could get away with playing a couple rotational players at Old Trafford. Andreas Pereira should have been one of the first names on the team sheet, especially in midfield. And the fact that he didn't come on in the second half is a joke. If he wants to leave, I'm not mad at him. Not mad at him at all. You could have also got Chong, at least on the bench. At least on the bench. in my opinion, if I was managing this club, and I don't care how people feel about opinions saying, oh, well, you're not the manager, so don't say things like that. I'm going to be just dead honest with you. I have coaching aspirations, so I'm going to make my points. You could have easily played Chong in this game. You could have started Chong in this game. Let's be honest here. We could have used Chong for most of the season. Because we don't have a right winger. And then when we do play a right wing, just cuts inside and it looks trashy. Chong does cut inside at times, but he can hold his position. He is a winger. That's what he does. He's good at it. Amazing. Potential running from the mountains, dude. That's not even a good analogy, but the dude is amazing. That's all I'm trying to say. Give him opportunity. I think he's more suited to playing in this team right now than Angel Gomez is. So maybe he might get his opportunity before him. Mason Greenwood is another one you can look at, maybe off the bench. And speaking of strikers, Marcus Rashford was alright. His movement, his runs, just troubling defenses, shifting them about, making space for other people. His finishing was not great. Anyone would say that. What I will say is Stephen Howson made a point in his United review that Martial lacks the ability to just sometimes snap at it and just take that shot, whereas Rashford lacks the ability of composure. Martial has utmost composure. Rashford has utmost snapping, taking his chances, or at least giving them a go. And if you gave them to those traits, I mean, it's just that, I don't want to say it, but it is that simple. How about you have those two, have a conversation. Just watch how I play. Or even bring in, I don't know, have someone who was a top-class striker at United, whether it's Dwight York, Van Nistelrooy, if you can get him back, to have a conversation with these guys. Anyway, that's the point I got to make of strikers. What else I got? I don't want to harp on players that I've already harped on forever, such as Matic. No need for him in that game. Valencia, nothing changed. He had one cross. It was completed. But when did he make runs in behind? The only time Valencia receives the ball in the final third is if everyone's on the left side and he's open for the switch. Because he doesn't make runs in behind. And he doesn't run at people. So it's just dead sound at this point. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. It's frustrating. I thought Fred and Lingard were our two best players in the middle of the park. And we took them off. Makes perfect sense, right? I just don't understand. You leave on Matic and Fellaini, you take off Fred and Lingard, who were moving the ball about the best, actually trying to get things done in the final third. I got a big point I want to make, but I want to see if there's anything else I got left based on football that happened in the Young Boys game. So there's a couple things. One, Mata came on, and he touched the ball about 2 times. He came on in the 75th odd minute, something like that. He touched the ball about 2 times. Are you kidding me? Excuse me. You bring on a creative player, and he doesn't get the ball. You might as well not have brought him on. He did more of chasing back when Young Boys were on the counter than actually creating anything. And that's not a shot at Mata. It's a shot at Mourinho. And I'll get to him in a second. And then another thing. The last 10 minutes of that game, 15 minutes you could say, when Mata's on, whenever Pogba has the ball in midfield, Matic, whoever you want to say, Lukaku, Martial, Fellaini, Rashford, all standing on the edge of the 18-yard box. Just standing there. Not moving. What the hell do you expect? Him to shoot the ball and hit all of you? Seriously, dude. Like, that is just such bad football. And he took off Valencia for Mata. Like, let's just think about that. Valencia, a solid defender who can defend on the break, and maybe because it was his first game back, but I don't give a crap. I don't. A solid defender. I know he does not great going forward. He's a better defender than he is an attacker these days. Solid defender who can deal with the counterattack. But you take him off instead of Matic or Fellaini, who played like average. Fellaini had a good first half, good first half an hour, you know. But Matic is just finished, dude. Give him a rest. He looks like he doesn't know how to play the game at all. He is a passenger. Passes the ball sideways. He and Lukaku are passengers at this point for two different reasons. Matic is just tired and can't play football. That's one. Lukaku, we're not playing to his strengths. And I got in an argument with someone on Twitter yesterday after the game. Not argument, but we were having a conversation. And they were saying that Lukaku is, just basically finished and he has no abilities. And I was arguing, you damn stupid. He has all the abilities to be a top striker. And they were saying he's overweight and all this stuff. And he is. In fairness, he is overweight. But he's still in pretty mint physical condition. He's a big lad, but he's still in pretty damn good condition to play football. Right? And we're not using him to his strengths. I made the point, and hear me out before you go crazy and drop dislikes and all that. Romelu Lukaku is overweight. R9, Ronaldo, the original, was overweight for most of his career. But, and listen, I'm not comparing the two. Ronaldo is obviously arguably the best number 9 ever. Probably is the best number 9 ever. He played in a system, in a team that played football 10,000 times better than what we're playing right now. So even when he had his off days, which were rarely, and he was a very good footballer, he was still okay. He was still okay. There were so many intangibles that go into what we're dealing with. One is the football. If Lukaku was playing in Ronaldo's Inter sides, his Barcelona sides, or his Real Madrid sides, do you think, for a sec, even let's throw in AC Milan when he was most overweight, it's better football than what we're playing now? I guarantee you Lukaku has at least 10 goals by this time if he's playing in any of those systems. Any of them. That's the only point I'm making, is the football is far below standard. It's absolutely disgusting. And I'm frustrated, dude. Fergie left 5, almost 6 years ago. End of the season, it'll be 6 years. And we're still transitioning. I can understand if we were Southampton losing Pochettino. Look at them. They're still suffering. Leicester lost Ranieri. I mean, that wasn't, we won't talk about that. That's a bit of an off one. Who else could you look at? Everton. After Martinez, they went through a funk. But the difference is we're a top side. We're not Southampton. We're not Everton. And we're struggling. We are struggling. Okay, Jose Mourinho spent 400 million. Some of the signings he didn't want. And also, Pep has spent $1 billion in his time. He's broke his transfer record a couple times. So is Jose. But you look like, genuine. You really want to look at this. Mahrez was what, 70 odd million. Walker 50 million. Mendy 50 million. Who else did he bring in? Jesus. I don't know how much he was. Laporte was 50 odd million. I think it was nearly 60 million. That's a lot of players. Mourinho has brought in none of Mourinho's players, other than Pogba and Lukaku. None of those players have been up to that standard. Fred is a decent midfield general. You know, he can shift the ball about, but that's not his best position, or he's not of the best quality. He's just as good as Ander Herrera. But Ander Herrera and Fred are better than Fellaini and Matic. So why we aren't playing them? There's only one guy you can blame for that. It's one guy who puts out the team sheet every week. It's one guy who gets to make those decisions. Jose Mourinho. You want to talk about a man who just absolutely looked disgusted after Marcus Rashford missed the opening goal or opening chance. What type of manager are you? He's a young man. And, you know, maybe that does work. Maybe that's Mourinho's way. But if you look at the culture, if you look at Marcus Rashford, when has he been performing well for England? Gareth Southgate, maybe he babies them. But that's how he gets the best out of them. While the board are not backing Mourinho, he's not helping himself. And that's how I'm going to end it, because I got to go. So if you guys did enjoy, please drop a like and subscribe. It's been your boy Dave with Man United Talks. I am out of here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Oh, by the way, let's just look at this guy. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. Whatever. I'm out of here. Deuces.